Hey guys, Bryan Schmitt here. I just got home from the St. John's Bassmasters Elite event. Finished the event in 8th place. Super excited to get the year going the way I did. I'm going to break down what I did to catch the fish, how I caught them, where I caught them, my whole thought process behind that. So the main deal for me was fishing pads or hard cover that they could spawn on. I didn't want to sight fish. I didn't want to do the canals. I didn't want to do the springs. I wanted to find fish I could catch fishing without looking at them. I knew they were spawning. We had a major warming trend during practice with a new moon the first day of the tournament. In Florida, that's a recipe for a big wave to come up to spawn. So, you know, I got to see hints of it the final afternoon of practice, but the big deal for me was slowing way down. I wanted to fish isolated cover. So why I say isolated is I wanted to have areas that the sunlight could still penetrate to help the fry. You know, when they spawn, they need sunlight. So isolation is the key to that. You know, it gives them something to get on. It's easier for you to fish. And it's what they want to spawn. You know, they want to spawn on something that they could see everything coming at them, and they need sunlight. So one of my big deals, one of my major weapons was the MISSILEBAITS quiver worm and June bug. I rigged this Texas with a big 5/0 Hayabusa 959. It's an extra wide gap hook with a Rains tungsten sinker. 3/16 quarter or 5/16 depending on what I was doing. 20-pound P-line fluorocarbon. I had it on a 7.3 heavy Fitzgerald stunner rod, and I had it on a 7-to-1 stunner reel. This was my setup. I had 3 identical setups just with different weights. The deal with this worm, you know, slowing down, but when it would hit the bottom, you're not moving it, but the tail is moving, okay? This tail has a lot of drawing power. This generated me a lot of bites, I believe, behind people. Just, you know, you're not moving it, it's doing something, okay? You twitch it a couple times, it's really doing something. So I'm leaving it in these areas I believe they're bedding, and the tail is helping me out. This worm was deadly for me. That was a big deal. I'm going to show you another setup. So, you know, some conditions would happen during the event. When I mean conditions, we would have some rain, a little bit of wind. It wasn't just bright, sunny, and calm every day. When that would happen, I would pick up my Hayabusa Signature Series swim jig. You know, 3/8 or ½ ounce in River Special color with a MISSILEBAITS Shockwave and Shrapnel color. 15-pound fluorocarbon P-line on my Fitzgerald Fishing Signature Series swim jig rod, 7-to-1 Fitzgerald stunner reel. This imitates the tilapia bluegill perfectly for Florida. I've done a lot of damage the last 2 weeks with this bait. I would get some bites. You know, I was able to move around a little bit, you know, cast and wind. Hey, I learned a new little area. Then I would slow down. But this was a big deal for me. And then I'll show you something else that was really cool. A lot of Florida guys probably don't do this. I would take a wacky rigged MISSILEBAITS 48. Okay. Bruiser or June bug color on a spinning rod. Okay. I got a Hayabusa 1/0 spin muscle guard, wacky hook. A lot of times I would put a nail weight in the middle. I like a little bit of weight, but it still has both ends are you know, vibrating down the same way, okay? I would put the weight in the middle. 10 or 12-pound fluorocarbon, P-line fluorocarbon leader to a 10-pound braid P-line main line. So the deal with this, why on a spinning rod? Well, sometimes you have to get finessey on these fish. And I would throw this around really sparse cover. I would let it sit, and I would pop it one time. When I would do that, these tails would draw me bites. I mean, like, I know I was going behind people and catching fish they weren't catching. But I wouldn't throw it around the heavy cover. You know, I caught a 7-pounder and a 6-pounder on this identical rig in the event. Was able to get them out of, you know, wherever they were at. Luckily, they didn't run into anything super hard, you know, like a big tree or, you know, a bunch of lily pads. But this system can get you some bites in Florida when, you know, it's tough and you know, you're a lot of pressure in the area. Aqua Dream Series rod from Fitzgerald, 7.2 medium with a stunner reel, spinning reel here. So that was my deal. You know, keying in on pads and wood, spawning fish that you couldn't see. Those were my, you know, my techniques, and super glad to get the season off like I did. You know, top 10 is an awesome event. Wasn't fishing too far away from the gentleman that won it. So anytime you could say you did that, that's a good week. You know, check all these items out and we'll see you soon.